Amnesty International, where human beings are being tortured. Feed the children.
Welcome.
Amnesty International, where human beings are being tortured. Feed the children.
Welcome. What's up, everybody?
The fight against the moral majority. Being asked by Kennedy or McGovern or something. On and on and on. I mean, just piles of this stuff. How do I decide which leper do I give the money to?
How are you all doing tonight?
Somebody says, don't you realize the anti-nuclear people? Well, this is the important one. I mean, if this one goes up, all the rest of it goes. But I could imagine last winter I spent some time in Florence, Italy, hanging out with Michelangelo.
Sorry it took me a minute today. We're a little bit late because I've had to set up something I'm doing for the first time today. It's called puja, and I believe it's called, I don't want to butcher the pronunciation, but it's bathing the statues. And so we're going to be offerings to my beautiful Hanuman statue over here in front of Maharaji. And this is the first time I've done this. It's really cool. It's called Abish. I don't want to butcher it. I don't want to butcher it. We're just going to let Ram Dass talk for just a little bit longer, and we're going to get started, guys.
Well, the Medicis are long gone. But Michelangelo's work in the Sistine Chapel and those statues, those are a statement of the way God manifests through the human heart. Just as Bach is, and just as Mick Jagger is, and just as on and on and on. Just as anybody that transcends and lets their art come through their form. And we are part of an extremely complex organism in which there's no rational way, because if you spend all your energy not getting exterminated, and that's all you did, and that's all your civilization was, I'm not sure it would be very interesting to be alive. And yet you can't walk away from it. So a mother comes up to me and she says, I love to meditate, but my kids are so... And I say, dear heart, your way to God is through your kids, not in spite of them. And the cacophony, the jarring quality, instead of allowing the meditation to be just what is. Just what is. Because I am, which is where you're meditating into, can look at the universe just as it is. It doesn't live on the world of if only. Look at how much in your own life you do with the if only. If only people would see the value of peace. If only I didn't have this war.
Love these talks. They're beautiful.
If only I had more money. If only I were older. If only I were younger. If only I didn't have cancer. If only I lived in a warm climate with the ocean. If only I lived in a cold climate.
Alright guys, we're going to pause it right there. It's a beautiful message. If you guys want to check this out on your own time, this is called the, what is it? Resting in I Am. It's episode 251 from the Ram Dass podcast. Whoa! I still have a Christmas tree up. I don't know. But yeah, so how is everyone tonight? We've been listening to a little bit of Ram Dass. I'm on a little bit late because I have an exciting thing to do today. I have not yet done puja, as far as like an official puja. And so I'm very excited to give some offerings to my murti for the first time. This is, at least in this way. And so puja is where you sort of stack, let me see. Where you sort of, you get like a little bowl or something and you wash or bathe the statue. And so this is my little murti of Hanuman here. And as you know, Ram Dass is actually a name for Hanuman. And so Ram Dass is one of my favorite teachers ever. See, I've even got a little Shiva Linga I made with the yoni. Let's see. There we go. And I even made a little makeshift bell because I don't have a bell, so. We got some sesame seed oil. So what I'm going to do for this next few minutes is we're going to play the rest of this Ram Dass podcast from the Be Here Now podcast. I'm going to exchange this old oil for some sesame seed oil that I bought, which is for a Dia lamp. The oil I have now, it's actually really smoky and you're not supposed to use it. I've just been using it because I had nothing else. So we're going to play that. I'll be right back.
But if only, it's perfect, but if only this traffic, if only this drink were hotter, if only it were colder, if only I were more rested, if only I had more space to myself. From the place of I am, you see all those if onlys as just law. Oh, there's more if onlys. See, look at those little if onlys just all over. How interesting. The fun is playing all these games inside yourself all at once.
Check this out. You might find this kind of cool. I got some Q-tips because I don't have cotton, and so we're going to makeshift make a wick for our Dia, a little oil lamp.
You're in a schoolroom, why don't you take the curriculum? The curriculum is your humanity. You're a human being. You've got a human heart, you've got passions, you've got desires, you've got fears, you've got excitement, you've got curiosity, you've got loneliness, you've got jealousy, you've got pain, and wow, it's rich and thick. If you push it away just to get high, to go to La La Land, you're missing the show. The show isn't looked at from afar, it's participated in. But if you're only participating, you're like Lady Macbeth. You're Lady Macbeth on the stage. Then you go off stage and you still think you're Lady Macbeth. You get caught in your humanity. You get caught in roles, for example. I'm a truck driver, but dear, we're in bed. No, I'm a truck driver. You know, it's like I mean, if you look at your own life, you'll see how you buy into a role, and it gets so real. I'm a mother. Yeah, but your children are 40 years old. I'm a mother. You know, it's like you can get caught in either direction. You can get caught in your divinity, or you can get caught in your humanity. And the fun is to recognize who you are. You are both. Simultaneously, you are divine and you are human. The I am expands to allow it all.
Well, I just want more.
Just allow it all. And then you do what you need to do. And you will feel the way in which your part in humanity must manifest. And trust it. It may be to care for children. It may be to meditate. It may be to work with your own desires for pleasure. You'll notice that even when you're in the middle of the most greedy, lustful act from one point of view, there'll be a little bit of consciousness noticing it all. Once you start to awaken, though you may want to, you can't quite get back to sleep again. You'll say, look, I just want one more rush. I want one more trip uninterrupted by God. Hey God, would you look the other way? I just want one more pizza. You know, I just want to be able to eat the pizza and just be the eater of the pizza. I don't want to be eating a pizza. You know, I don't want to be that. I don't want to be a judge. I don't want to be a noticer. I just want to eat the pizza. Leave me alone already. But unfortunately, once it happens, it just keeps being there until finally, instead of pushing it away, you see how it enriches every moment. How the moments get thicker and thicker. The immediacy of what is, even the worst mucky stuff, it just gets thicker and richer and thicker and richer. And the quieter you get and the less attached you are to what you do, the more you will find that you move towards doing those things which relieve the suffering of all sentient beings, because you are part of them all. And there's no rule about how you will relieve the suffering, only you know, and you will only know from moment to moment in your own heart.
This podcast is brought to you by the Love Serve Remember Foundation.
How beautiful that was, guys. That is Resting in I Am from the Ram Dass podcast. It's episode 251. I can totally recommend that podcast to each and every person who's tuning in today. It is beautiful, beautiful spiritual podcast, really enlightening. See, this is some sandalwood paste, and I haven't actually done this, so I'm trying to make a telic. So that's what we're gonna do. Tap some out in my hand. I think will be enough. We're gonna mix some of this with water later so that we can offer it to the deity. Don't spill. Okay, I hope that's not too much water. Alright. Yeah, make a paste. Alright. Let's see if this works. Yeah, looking good. Let's see. Awesome. Let's see. I'm going to take the rest of this and put it in this little shot glass so we can save it for the offering, for the puja. Let's see, I wonder if my friend's on here. I need to add him up as a moderator real quick. Just 1 second, guys. I'll add him up. How's it going, Parish? Parish? My bad. I'll get it one of these days. I need some.
Good,
How
how about you?
Parish.
Yeah, hi.
Sir,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How are you? Doing
Yeah,
well?
good. How about you? Yep.
Pretty well, man. Pretty well
Thank you.
today. It's been a beautiful day. A very beautiful day. The Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Absolutely. Let's see. This is just my attempt at a telic. Hope I'm doing this right. All right. Well, it's a little sloppy, but hey, the idea is there. All right. I'm gonna go. I don't think I have anything I can put the rest of this kumkum powder in, so we're just gonna leave it for now. Have to wipe it off somewhere. I'll be right back. Really excited about this, guys. We're gonna sing the Shalisa. All right. Wrong one. Let's see. Clear, Chalisa, Hanuman. Yep, there it is. Perfect. So this is my first attempt at a puja with with like the whole offering set. So I got sugar, I got, I forgot honey. That's the one thing I forgot was honey. I'll get it at some point. But we got sugar, we got lemon water, milk, water. Wish I had ghee, but we're gonna make do for today. Just bhakti, just devotional gifting. Shri Guru Charana Saroja Raja Nijamana Mukuru Sudhari Aranon Rakubara Vimala Jasu Jodaya Kupalachari Buddhihina Tanu Janake Sumeram Pavanakuma Alamuri Vyadinu Aravukale Shabikam Syavara Ramachandra Parije Sharanam Jaya Hanumana Gyana Gunasaga Jaya Kapishati Hanloka Ujjala Ramaduta Tulita Baladama Anjani Putra Pawan Sutanama Mahavira Bikram Ajarangi Kumatini Vara Sumati Kesangi Kanchana Varana Viraja Subesa Kanana Kundala Kunchita Kesa Hata Vajra Vaja Viraja Pande Munja Jajenu Saji Shankara Suvana Keshari Nanda Teja Pratapa Mahajagavan Vidyawana Yati Chaturama Kaja Karibe Kovata Prabhu Charitra Sunibeko Rasiya Rama Lakana Sita Manavasiya Sukshma Rupa Dharitiya Hindikawa Vikata Rupa Dharilankajara Hima Rupa Dharisura Samhari Ramachandra Kika Shamari Daya Sajiva Bhatani Shri Raghuvira Harashi Uralai Raghupati Bahutavara Mama Priya Bharatani Samabhai Ahasabadana Tumaro Yasagawe Yasakani Shri Bhakti Samagadika Brahma Narada Shara Sadhya Namma Kubera Digapara Jahante Kaviko Vedaka Sasi Upakara Sugriva Hinkina Rama Milaya Raja Tumaro Mancha Vishwanamana Lankeshwara Bhaya Sabha Durga Sahastra Jona Parvana Divyavatahi Maharajan Rakamudrika Milika Jalani Ramaduare Tumarakaware Kotananya Tapasukhe Tumhare Sharana Tumarakshakata Apanate Samharo Ape Tina Utapisa Chadikatana Mahavira Javana Suna Asero Gahare Sabapira Chapatane Rantara Hanumatabira Sankataten Hanumana Churave Anakrama Kachana Dhyana Jova Sabaparo Rama Tapasvi Raja Sinake Kaja Sakala Ramano Tajo Love So He Amita Jivana Bhagava Charon Yuga Bharata Tumhara He Parasida Tujiyara Taru Santa Ke Tumhara Pavare Asura Nikandana Ramanurare Ashta Siddhi Mauli Dikirata Savaradina Kana Mata Rama Rasayana Tumare Pasa Sahara Ho Tumare Bhajana Rama Pobhawe Janama Janama Ke Dukkha Visarama Antakha Raghuvar Dai Gahana Janma Hari Bhari Ora Devata Chittana Darahi Hanumata Se Sarvasukarahi Jankatakate Mite Sambhavira Yosumire Hanumata Balabira Jaya 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 Hanumana Dahin Kripa Karahu Gurudeva Kuna Joshatavara Patakaratori Jyotahi Bandi Mahasukaho Joya Hare Hanu Chalisa Joya Siddhisa Igorisa Tulasida Sasada Hariteva Vijayana Herdaya Avanatanaya Sankataharana Mangala Murati Sihara Rama Lakana Sita Sahita Hridayamba Sahasrabhupa Siyahavara Ramachandra Parijay Sharanam Mangala Murati Marutanandan Sakala Mangala Mudanikandan Mangala Murati Marutanandan Sakala Mangala Mudanikandan Ram Jai Jai Rama Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Rama Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram 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 Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama Shri Ram Jai Ram Sitaram 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 Jai Sitaram 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 Sitaram, Sitaram, Jai Jai Sitaram. Ram Sitaram, 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 Jai Jai Sitaram. Sitaram, 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 Jai Jai Sitaram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram 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 Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Jai Jai Ram, Jai Shri Ram. Let's see, we're gonna go for another one.
Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram. Baba Hanuman.
Haribo.
Get the prasad.
It's gentle massage and relaxing sounds.
I don't want to spill this at all.
During our President's Day sale, save up to $500 on select adjustable mattress sets.
New Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. $5 for classic, for $7 for lavish. $9 something more.
Help me not to spill this.
New Lux Cravings boxes, you get tacos.
Thank you, God.
Toronto Vulture. We will be going to. He will be our live creator. Will be reading Valmiki Ramayana. 5 sargas,
Namo.
and after that
What are you saying,
we
Puri?
will continue doing. I am explaining what we're gonna do.
Yeah, just a second.
So one of my just joined. And then we will be doing Kirtan, couple of
Jai
Kirtan,
Shri Ram,
and then again Hanuman Chalisa.
Jai Shri Ram, Hanuman, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Jai Hanuman. 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 Jai Shri Ram, Jai Jai Hanuman.
Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram, Jai Jai Hanuman. Jai Shri Ram, Jai Jai Hanuman. Jai Shri Ram, Jai Jai Hanuman, Jaya Hanuman. Jaya Bajranga Bali, Baba Hanuman. Jaya Bajranga Bali, Jai Hanuman. Sankata Mochana Kripanidham. Sankata Mochana Kripanidham. Jai Siya Ram, Jai Jai Hanuman. 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 Jai Hanuman. Jai Bajranga Jai Bajranga Bali, Jai Hanuman. Prasad. And they put an ad in the middle of that. Sankata Mochana Kripanidham. Jai Siya Ram, Jai Jai Hanuman. Karuna Sagara Kripanidham. Karuna Sagara Kripanidham. Jai Siya Ram, Jai Jai Hanuman. 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 Jai Hanuman. Jai Bhaja Jai Hanuman Gosari. Kripa Kahu Gurudev Rakinai. Sankata Mochana Kripanidham. Sangabala Gotila Nishan Jai Siya Ram, Jai Jai Hanuman. 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 Sita Rama 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 Rama. Sita Rama Rama Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama Sita Rama Rama Hare Rama 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 Sita Rama 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 Hare Rama 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 Sita Rama 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 Hare Rama Sita Rama Rama Hare Rama Sita Rama Hare Rama Sita Rama Hare Rama Hare Rama Jesse Aram, everything's good. Jaya Baba Hanuman, Jesse Aram, Jaya Baba Hanuman. Anjanina Danana Jai Ram Jai Jai Hanuman. Oh wait, it's 4-1. Jai Jai Hanuman. Jai Ram 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 Jai Jai Hanuman. Jai Hanuman. Jai Bajranga Bali Hanuman. Jai Bajranga Bali Jai Hanuman. Sankata Mochana Kripanidha. Sankata Mochana Pranidhan, Jai Siya Ram, Jai Jai Hanuman. 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 Ram Jai Hanuman. Jai Jai Bajranga Bali, Baba Hanuman. Jai Bajranga Bali, Jai Hanuman. Karuna Sagara Kripanidhan. Karuna Sagara Kripanidhan. Jai Siya Ram, Jai Jai Hanuman. Jai Siya Ram, Jai Jai Hanuman. We really got to get YouTube Premium because of these ads.
How my bank balances are doing, what money is owed, and what bills are going out, and that gives me a lot of confidence to make informed decisions.
I think the world of my
Let's see.
daughter. And the
Well,
blinking
3 seconds,
thinking she's
2,
just
1.
pretty good.
Alright, back. Jai Siya Ram, Jai Jai Hanuman. 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 Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Sita Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Sita Rama, Rama. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Sita Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Sita Rama, Rama. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Sita Rama, Rama 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 Rama. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Sita Hare Rama 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 Sita Rama Hare Rama 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 Sita Hare Rama Rama Sita Hare Rama Sita Hare Rama 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 Rama Sita Rama Rama Hare Rama 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 Sita Rama Rama Hare Rama 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 Sita Rama Rama Hare Rama Rama Sita Rama Hare Rama 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 Rama Rama
I think you need a charger.
Hare Rama 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 Sita Rama Hare Rama Rama Sita Rama Hare Rama Rama Sita
You need a charger.
Hare Rama Rama Sita Rama
You need to charge your phone.
Jai Shri Ram Hare Rama
Just, I think you need to charge your phone.
Hare Rama 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 Sita Rama I got some friends and some bird going. Hare Rama 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 Sita Rama Oh
I was saying, do you need a charger or something, or it's my phone, or it's my Bluetooth
Oh, it might be your phone
doing
you
it?
said, or is it mine? Like, what's going on?
I hear something like low battery notification.
What'd you say,
So
buddy?
maybe it's my. I'm saying I heard low battery notification. Maybe it's my Bluetooth,
Oh, okay. 1 second. Hold up.
or maybe your phone. I
Yeah,
don't
my
know.
Bluetooth's off, so I should be good. This is frankincense and myrrh I'm burning right now. And then give some over
Okay.
to Jesus
Okay.
here.
I think I need to charge my phone.
You're fine,
I mean,
buddy.
sorry, Bluetooth.
Sure thing. Let's see.
Yeah.
Hey, just asking you from a cultural standpoint, did I do that well? Because that was the first time I've ever done it.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
Did I do that puja well? Did I do that the offerings well? I forgot what it's called. It starts with an A.
I'm sorry. Actually, I was not looking at it.
Ah, word.
I'm really sorry.
No, you're fine, man. Just like the milk and all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is the statue supposed to be sticky after?
It's not how you do it. I think it's how you what devotion with how much devotion you're doing it.
Yeah, how
So
devoted you are. That makes sense.
yeah,
That makes sense. I
yeah,
appreciate that. I appreciate that. Bhakti, right? I'm a bhakti, so I'm no OCD type, perfectionism or anything. Let's see. This is frankincense and myrrh. Oh, it smells delicious. It's wonderful. So, do you drink the prasad? Like, can you drink kumkum powder and sandalwood?
uh, I have no idea, but I don't think you should. I mean, you want to drink a kumkum?
Yeah, it's the So it's the offering stuff. I know you're supposed to like drain it. And you should drink it as prasad. That's what they say.
Uh, okay.
I don't know. I mean,
Because sandalwood,
it's new to me. You know what I mean? All this is new to me. I'm offering sweets.
no, yeah.
I can't even eat sweets. I have cavities right now, so this is all Hanuman's. Let's see. He'll be happy about that.
Yeah. Why
Right.
the lamp is not lightened?
Yeah. You're supposed to eat like the offerings after you give it to them because it's prasad. It's like a consuming part of God. It's taking it in.
Yeah, right.
Right. Let's see. I
Whatever
don't know if
you
I should
offer,
eat
you
the. If
supposed
I don't know
to.
if I should drink the kumkum though. See, Jai Shri
No,
Ram.
I don't think you should. Jai Sri Ram.
I don't think it's edible. It's like powder,
No, yeah, it's not edible.
Okay, awesome. I'll note that for future reference. That was beautiful, though.
Yeah.
That was the first time I've ever done it. I felt like I was just trying my best. So
Yes.
I forgot to add sugar water, but I'll just give that to him later. Let's see, I gave him the
Yeah.
sugar though, so that was wonderful. We'll sit with a couple more kirtans, guys, and we'll start reading. Very excited about tonight. I just need to put some of this stuff up.
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. Appreciate you so much. I may set this right here so you guys can sit with Hanuman just a little bit longer. Maybe that's why. Oh, I see. The camera needs to be flipped. I was hoping that you should have been able to see from this angle. I'll try to get the live replay for it. Rama Rama Ram Sita Rama Rama Ram Hare Rama Rama Ram Sita
Ram.
Yes, sir.
Hare
Hare Rama Rama Ram Sita Rama Rama Ram
Ram.
Rama Rama Sita Rama Rama Ram. This over here, or this over here. Thank you, Hanuman. Scoot some of these over. My kunkun, the sandalwood, put it back here. It should go. Put on my incense so we don't start a fire accidentally while I'm singing kirtan.
Yeah.
That would not be good. I think the charcoal's still good to be burning. It's really old charcoal, so it should go out here in like 5 minutes. It's always hard to light old charcoal.
Yeah.
So, any recommendations? Anything you want to set with in particular?
Oh, nope.
Okay. Let's do it Om Namah Shivaya.
Okay.
You are hanging to me, sir.
We're on a Shiva Linga now. I made it. Shut up. Om Namah Shambho Shankara Namah Shivaya. Kirya Shankara Shambho Shankara Namah Shivaya. Kirya Shankara Namah Shivaya. 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 Shiva Namah Shivaya. Shiva Namah Shivaya. Arunachala Shiva Namah Shivaya. Arunachala Shiva Namah Shivaya. Om 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 Namah Shivaya. Hare Om Namah Shivaya. Hare Om Namah Shivaya. Hare Om Namah Shivaya. Shambho Shankara Namah Shivaya. Kirya Shankara 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 Namah Shivaya. Om Namah
Girija Shankar Namah Shivaya. Shivaya. Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Shambho Shankara Namah Shivaya. Jaya Shankara Namah Shivaya.
Shivaya.
Jaya Shankara
Shankara Namah Shivaya.
Namah Shivaya.
Namah Shivaya. Girija Shankar Namah Shivaya.
Namah Shivaya. Om Namah
Om
Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah
Shivaya.
Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shivaya Namah.
Very nice.
Shivaya Namah.
And loud clap. चलो भोजन खिलाते हैं। भजन हो गया, भोज भी करो। भजन है जो क्या भोजन।
Oh, wrong one. I clicked the Vedic chanting. Let's see. I've already listened to it.
Big sliced
We'll
and
play
flour
another one,
dusted,
don't
nature's
worry,
own
just later.
perfectly crafted bread. You're fancy now.
Oh God. Maybe that we're getting into it. This is Vedic chanting. It's a couple prayers to Shiva. We might do a Maha Mantra and then we'll get into it. We're chanting aloud for Shiva. We are chanting aloud for Shiva. Yes, yes. Shiva, the god of death. We all die. We all meet Shiva.
Not God of
He's about
death, God of destroyer, God of destroyer.
Yeah, the destroyer. The destroyer. See, even your thoughts, they're born, they live, and they're destroyed. So you got Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. We surrender to Shiva. Death becomes beautiful. Destruction becomes rebirth. Vande Deva Umapatim Surugurum Vande Jagat Karanam Vande Pannagabhushanam Nigadaram Vande Pashunam Patim Vande Surya Shashanka Vainayanam Vande Mukunda Priyam Vande Bhaktajanashrayam Chavarana Vande Shiva Shankaram Om Mrityunjayaya Rudraya Nilakantaya Shambhave Amrishaya Sharmaya Mahadevaya Te Namaha Namaste Stu Bhagavan Vishveshwaraya Mahadevaya Trayambakaya Tripurantakaya Trikanikadaya Kalagnirudraya Nilakantaya Mrityunjayaya Sarveshwaraya Sadashivaya Sriman Mahadevaya Namaha Om Namah Shambhavaya Cha Mayupavaya Cha Namah Shankaraya Cha Maheskaraya Cha Namah Shivaya Cha Shivataraya Cha Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarugamiva Bandhanan Mrityurmukshiyamamritat Nagetraharaya Trilochanaya Asmagharaya Maheshwaraya Nityaya Shuddhaya Digambaraya Tasmai Nakaraya Namah Shivaya Bhandakini Sarira Chandana Charchitaya Nandishwara Brahmatanath Maheshwaraya Mandara Pushya Pushya Supujitaya Tasmai Makaraya Namah Shivaya
शिवाय गौरी वदनाढ्य वृंद सूर्याय रक्षात्मनाशकाय श्रीनीलकंठाय वृषध्वजाय तस्मै शिकाराय नमः शिवाय वसिष्ठकुम्भोद्भगौतमाय गोविन्ददेवार्चितशेखराय चन्द्राकवैश्वानरलोचनाय तस्मै वकाराय नमः शिवाय यज्ञस्वरूपाय जटाधराय पीनाकहस्ताय सनातनाय दिव्याय देवाय दिगंबराय तस्मै यकाराय नमः शिवाय पंचाक्षराय ओम यज्ञपते शिव सन्निधौ शिवलोकमवाप्ते शिवे सर्वोदते
Shiva Shankara. I want to do a Radhe, Radhe, Radhe Sham. We'll do that next. And then we'll get into reading, guys. Y'all excited? Alright. Yeah, we'll do Radhe, Radhe, Radhe Sham Govinda Radhe Jai Shri Radhe Radhe, Radhe, Radhe Sham Govinda Radhe Jai Shri Radhe Hari Bol.
When the temperature drops, you've got two choices. Close your eye.
Shiva is ultimately the one who decides when we die. It's like how he said, it's a Shiva mantra for avoiding death and an untimely death. And we also chant to him to just honor him, because I feel like our element of Shiva in our lives, we tend to reject. We tend to have a really hard time accepting this death and rebirth. But a butterfly must die in order to become, or a caterpillar must die in order to become a butterfly. The seasons change, where the winter must end to become the spring. You know what I'm saying? And so, is it a bad thing? No. It's just our perspective, our limited perspective because of our ego. When we chant to Shiva, we can get out of our ego. We can see how he sees. And therefore, death becomes a moment of ecstatic transformation. We're not yearning.
He's gone.
But anyway, it's just for whoever's watching. But yeah, just death becomes an ecstatic transition to the next world, a moment of great transformation versus this concept of something that we should dread and fear. It becomes something that we can let go and surrender into, as if it's the moment of greatest bliss, transformation, Satchidananda. You're returning home. You see, the ego views death as something terrifying and painful. But the soul knows that you're just going home, baby. You're just going home. We don't wish to rush them. Stay here in service of God as long as we can. We'll come right back. Hopefully it's not too late. Could be good.
Radhe
Radhe, Radhe, Radhe Sham Govinda Radhe Jai Shri Radhe Radhe, Radhe, Radhe Sham Govinda Radhe Jai Shri Radhe Radhe, Radhe, Radhe Sham Govinda Radhe Jai Shri Radhe 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 Shyam Govinda Radhe Jai Shri Radhe. Radhe 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 Shyam Govinda Radhe Jai Shri Radhe. Radhe 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 Shyam Govinda Radhe Jai Shri Radhe. Govinda Radhe Radhe Shyam Gopala Radhe 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 Radhe. Radhe Radhe Shyam Govinda Radhe Jai Shri Radhe. Radhe 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 Shyam Govinda Radhe Jai Shri Radhe. Radhe 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 Shyam Govinda Radhe Jai Shri Radhe. Radhe 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 Shyam Govinda Radhe Jai Shri Radhe. Govinda Radhe Radhe Shyam Gopala Radhe 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 Radhe. Radhe 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 Shyam Govinda Radhe Jai Shri Radhe. Radhe 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 Shyam Govinda Radhe Jai Shri Radhe. Radhe Radhe Shyam Govinda Radhe Jai Shri Radhe. Radhe 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 Shyam Govinda Radhe Jai Shri Radhe. Govinda Radhe Radhe Shyam Gopala Radhe 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 Radhe. Radhe 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 Shyam Govinda Radhe Jai Shri Radhe. Radhe 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 Shyam Govinda Radhe Jai Shri Radhe. Govinda Radhe Radhe Shyam Gopala Radhe Radhe Shri Radhe. Radhe 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 Shyam Shri Radhe. Govinda Radhe Radhe Shyam Gopala Radhe 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 Radhe. Radhe 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 Shyam Govinda Radhe Jai Shri Radhe. Radhe 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 Shyam Govinda Radhe Jai Shri Radhe. Radhe 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 Shyam Govinda Radhe Jai Shri Radhe. Radhe 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 Shyam Govinda Radhe Jai Shri Radhe. Govinda Radhe Shyam Gopala Radhe Radhe. Govinda Radhe Radhe Shyam Gopala Radhe Radhe. Govinda Radhe Radhe Shyam Gopala Radhe Radhe. Govinda Radhe
Radhe Radhe Shyam Govinda Radhe Shri Radhe 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 Shyam Govinda Radhe Shri Radhe 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 Shyam Govinda Radhe Shri Radhe 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 Shyam Govinda Radhe Shri Radhe Govinda Radhe Radhe Shyam Gopala Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe Shyam Gopala Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe Radhe Shyam Gopala Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe Radhe Shyam Gopala Radhe 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 Shyam Govinda Radhe 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 Shyam Govinda Radhe 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 Shyam Govinda Radhe Shri Radhe 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 Shyam Govinda Radhe Shri Radhe Govinda Radhe Radhe Shyam Gopala Radhe 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 Shyam Govinda 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 Radhe Radhe Shyam Gopala Radhe Radhe 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 Shyam Govinda Radhe 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 Shyam Govinda Radhe 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 Shyam Govinda Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe Radhe Shyam Gopala 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 Radhe 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 Shyam Govinda Radhe 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 Shyam Govinda Radhe 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 Shyam Govinda Radhe 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 Shyam Govinda Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe Radhe Shyam Gopala 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 Radhe 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 Shyam Govinda 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 Radhe 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 Sham.
Sham is another name for Krishna. It means the black one, the dark one. That's one of my favorite chants ever. What about you, Paresh? Or Parish? Parish. Man, why do I do that? It's my accent or something.
All kirtans are my favorite, to be honest.
You said
I
all
just
kirtans are
love.
my favorite. I love it.
Yeah.
Let's
We can do
go, Haribo. My
Haribo.
guru comes from the Himalaya lineage, so he mostly Sankaracharya, and like Shankara, Adi Shankara. Oh my goodness, man, I got
Yeah.
Sindor all over my pants. That's okay. That's okay. I hope it comes out in the wash, man.
Yes, Hindu comes out.
Look at this. It's like the sandalwood.
Wow. That's too
Yeah, no,
much.
I didn't mean to do that, man. I did not mean to do. It's the first time I've used the yellow sandalwood because I didn't know you could make a ram tilik with the yellow. I asked them at the temple, and they said something like, it's the white one or something. I don't know, maybe. But then I looked it up, and they're like, yes, you can use sandalwood to, do the ram tilik. I was like, all right, well, in that case, I'm gonna go ahead and use it. So, I feel like the algorithm's not putting me out this much today because I had a live restriction yesterday. Just kind of, we'll see what happens, man. Maybe the more original we get, the more engaging we get, the more people will hop in here. I do this to bless people. You know what I mean? It's no glory to me. I'm just a vessel, man. I don't, I'm nobody. I'm no guru other than the light inside of me, which is the same amount of guru as the light inside of you. The reason we're here is to follow Maharaji, follow Jai Shri Ram, follow Shiva, follow in their footsteps, embody them, follow Krishna. Radha. There's the divine feminine. All of them. So I like to read a couple cards when we start. This is from my Oracle deck. It's the White Light Oracle deck. Let's see, I like reading this for people. We just do a collective reading. I don't do single readings. I feel like it's a little tacky. Now it doesn't mean that's for everybody, but just for me it feels tacky. I feel like I shouldn't do it. So I just do collective readings. I talked to a friend a long time ago, and he's like, well, you could do that if you wanted to, but listen to what you feel called to do. And I was like, all right, we'll do that, because I feel like a lot of stuff like that becomes a business on TikTok live, and it's like, oh, link in bio, link in bio, link in bio. It's like, I ain't got nothing to sell you, man. I'm just here to love on you. We're just here to sit and love together, man. There ain't no financial nothing here unless, I somehow end up getting paid for my devotion, which would be a dream come true, but we'll see if that ever happens like Krishna Das. Krishna Das does these kirtans for a living, man. That's who we mostly listen to, so that would be cool. That would be really cool. I'm trying to learn the harmonium, trying to pick up a kartal, kartals are those, they're like cymbals that you clang together with your hands. You see Hanuman with them all the time. He's just sitting there jamming away, But those are cool instruments. Wow, that threw out. Let's see, Sacred Scar. Can see that looks like the Vesica Pisces in the center of her chest there. So Sacred Scar is number 11. I forgot that old card in there. That's okay, though. We wouldn't want to draw the same one from yesterday. Let's see, 11, 85. Now, this is a new deck, so I read from these, obviously, because I don't know them intuitively. And it also has a really cool guided healing process that comes along with every one of them. So it's really, I like it a lot for that. Sacred Scar. All right, we're going to begin here. Your inner and outer scars are marks of your soul's courage. They are signs of strength and survival, of your willingness to be alive. The sacred scar speaks of that which once caused pain, being transformed into higher knowledge and inner power. Trauma shall be transformed through spiritual initiation, leading you from woundedness to wisdom. You have nothing to be ashamed of. You can trust your healing process. And in the higher... Let's see, check my battery real quick. It should be good for just a couple more minutes. Let's see. Your trauma shall be transformed through spiritual initiation, leading you from woundedness to wisdom. You have nothing to be ashamed of, and you can trust your healing process and in the hidden higher purpose behind things happening as they do. You are strong and you shall flourish on all levels. Some experiences are hard to weather, even when our intention is to trust. Going through a challenging time is likely to give rise to suffering. Consider the mother eagle raising her precious eaglets in the sanctuary of a meticulously padded and fiercely defended nest. They know safety and comfort, until one day the mother who provided unceasing nurturance abruptly pushes them out of the nest and into the air. She knows this is how they learn that they can fly. For the eaglet, there is not yet any such knowledge. disoriented and disturbed, but eventually innate instinct overtakes confusion, and those brave little eaglets begin to flap their fledgling wings during the plummet from the nest. They have learned the purpose of the tough lesson and grown. The trauma of disruption became their initiation into power. You don't have to enjoy the process of growth, but you can always trust it has your best interests at heart. However, do not confuse negative, especially traumatic experiences as something Spirit has inflicted upon you. Spirit would love your growth to happen in the most joyful and peaceful ways possible. As your relationship to Spirit heals and strengthens, this can be the way you grow, more often than not. However, Spirit also knows that sometimes we are to move through intense experiences before we can gain access to the light. These experiences can teach us things only those who have truly suffered and brought their suffering to consciousness and healing can know. The lessons learned include compassion, wisdom, strength, and fearlessness, faith in Spirit and in humanity, and in the recognition of the challenges of awakening. While having trust in the ultimate power of the light, such a soul becomes one truly badass and divine human being, a powerful healer and a light bearer in this world. The oracle of the sacred scar lets you know that your greatest struggles are the pathway to your potential. You are not being punished. Those circumstances have not been imposed upon you by Spirit, but Spirit will work with you to free you of negativities and bring you into the light, stimulating the sacred alchemical wisdom within your heart that knows how to distill goodness, grace, and healing even from the most terrible experiences. If you are deep in suffering now, know that Spirit is with you, loving you, and bringing you this oracle. You shall heal. Do not give up. Proceed until you are exactly where you most want to be. You have the inner spirit to ensure even a negative experience will only cause positive growth in you and in your life. Now, there's an interactive healing process. If you so feel led, please follow along. And if, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, as always. Place your hand at your heart. Take a deep and calming breath in and out. Repeat 3 times. And read or say the following aloud if possible. And you can repeat after me. Nirvana breath. Big sigh out. Just give it all to God. Let's go. You can repeat after me if you feel called. I am a divine soul on a sacred journey. The wounds that are healing are where the light is most active within me. When pain gets my attention, it is the divine wisdom within asking me to notice and learn something helpful and compassionate. My scars are signs of wisdom gained. The light can and will assist me in transforming even the most difficult struggles into holy paths of grace. Healing shall manifest completely, generously, and lovingly, according to divine timing, for the spiritual benefit of all beings. I am grateful, strong, and blessed in abundance. Rest and reflect. Are there issues you believe cannot heal? Can you hand them over to Spirit with the belief they can and will be healed? Can you hand over the fear they won't be? Yeah. Eat it, Ma. Repeat the above statement if you feel it would help you anchor confidence and trust in your heart and mind. Ground, replenish, and hydrate yourself. You have completed your healing process. That was lovely and short. Ram Dass talks about Ma Kali, and this, obviously the sacred feminine is a big part of this card, but Ma Kali is this divine force that eats whatever is not in line with the devotee's mission or purpose. If you feel fear, you feel paranoia, you feel you're held back, if you feel you are afraid you can't heal something, if you're afraid of other people's opinions, if you're afraid of including your family, are you afraid of your family's opinions? Give it to Ma. She'll eat it. Don't take it back once you give it to her. Eat it, Ma, but give it to her. Don't take it back. Don't try to hold on to a piece of it. Give it entirely to her. Let her take it. She wants to take it. She wants to lighten your load. She wants to help you along your dharmic path, along your purpose, along your life path, so that you can serve others. That's her purpose. And so, as well as time, as well as being the great mother, as well as being the embodiment and personification of Mother Nature and the earth and birth and death itself, that's her purpose. And so it's a very beautiful thing to set with Ma. It's a very beautiful thing. Let's see, I'm going to try to lower this real quick so we can, no, I still got to lower it. It's not going to let me. All right. Okay, so let's see where we're at today. I'm going to grab my cushion. Where are we at in the Ramayana? Oh, my Ramayana's over here for the puja. Oops. Should not have pulled that out. Let's see. Do you remember where we were? Yeah, here we were. We were at 55, and then at 56. Let's see. No, actually, we went past that. We were at 60. That's right. I'm trying to remember where we're at because I just pulled out the bookmark before I opened it. That's smart. Let's see. Okay, yeah, we were definitely at number 60. I just kind of forgot some of this, but I remember that we read about the guy falling head fast back to earth, right? Vishvamitra, who tried to ascend into heaven in his body. All right, so Sarga 60 is where we're at. Sargas are like mini chapters. They're very cool. We read about 5 to 10 a night, depending on what you guys are feeling. You know, my buddy Seraphim's not here tonight. He felt the need to take a hiatus. He felt called by Spirit, so no worries. He's probably got some cool downloads and messages to pick up. So maybe we might only read 5 tonight. I don't know. It's up to you guys. But I like to, if somebody misses, I like to try to make sure that they can catch it again. Did you mean to hop off? I can invite you back. You don't have to hop back up if you don't want to, of course. Let's see. When the great Vishvamitra saw that the seers had departed, tiger among men, he spoke to all the forest dwellers. Since this great obstacle arose here in the southern region, we shall go to some other region and practice our austerities there. Great men, let us go and practice our austerities undisturbed at Pushkara in the sparsely peopled west. That is the best of all ascetics' forest. Having said this, the great and powerful sage performed severe and difficult austerities at Pushkara, subsiding only on roots and fruit. Let's see, I'm going to put on some music in the background, guys. Just a moment. Reading meditation. I'm sure that would be a good. Alright, alpha waves. Figure it out. 111. Let's go.
The new 5-7.
Might have some ads, but they'll correct themselves.
Only at Taco Bell.
What would your life be like if you were a
Right.
rapid transformational therapist?
Now, just at that very time, Lord of Ayodhya, a king known as Amrisha, undertook a sacrifice. But while he was engaged in that sacrifice, Indra carried off the sacrificial victim. And since the victim was lost, the priest said to the king, "Your Majesty, today through your carelessness, the sacrificial victim has been stolen. Lord of men, such lapses destroy a king who does not guard against them. Bull among men, there is only one way to expiate this lapse, and it is a very serious one indeed. Quickly, while the rite is still in progress, You must either recover the victim or replace it with a man. Yeah, we had read this last night. Upon hearing the words of his preceptor, Bull among men, the wise king sought to find a victim in exchange for thousands of cows. Now it happened, delight of the... I just want to make sure we haven't already read all this. I apologize. No, it'll be fine. Upon hearing the words of his preceptor, Bull among men, the wise king sought to find a victim in exchange for thousands of cows. Now it happened, delight of the Raghus, my son, that in searching regions, countries, cities, forests, and holy ashrams, one after the other, the Lord of the earth encountered Rachika in Brugantanda, seated with his wife and sons. The mighty and immeasurably splendid royal seer prostrated himself, propitiating the Brahmin seer, Richi, respects. He said these words, Richika, blazing with ascetic power. Then after inquiring about his well-being in all respects, he said these words, If illustrious Bhargava, you will see me your son for 100,000 cows to be my sacrificial victim. I will have accomplished my purpose, for I wandered over every country and still have not found a victim suitable for sacrifice. So please give me one of your sons for a price. Addressed in this fashion, mighty Rachika said these words, Best of men, I would not sell my eldest son for anything. But when she heard Rachika's words, the ascetic woman, mother of his great son, spoke to Ambarisha, that tiger among men. Your Majesty, you must realize that I too have a favorite, Shunaka, my youngest, for just as the eldest are usually dearest to their fathers, best of men, so are the youngest to their mothers. Therefore I shall keep my youngest son. But after the sage and his wife have spoken, Rama, Shunashepa, their middle son, spoke for himself. My father says that the eldest cannot be sold, and my mother says the same of the youngest. So I gather that the middle son has been sold. Lead me away, your Majesty. And so the Lord of men departed, delight of the Raghus, delighted to have gotten Shunashepa for 100,000 cows. Quickly placing Shunashepa in his chariot, the renowned and mild royal seer Ambarisha sped away. I wonder what'll happen. I wonder if he'll actually be sacrificed or if he's going to be saved somehow. This is the first time I've heard this story too. I'm reading it with you all. Having taken Shunashepa, delight of the Raghus, best of men, the renowned king stopped to rest at midday in Pushkara. While the king was resting, the renowned Shunashepa wandered over to the splendid Pushkara lake, where he saw Vishvamitra. His face downcast, miserable with thirst and fatigue, he fell onto the sage's lap, Rama, crying, I have no mother and no father, nor kinsman anywhere on either side. Kind sir, bull among sages, please save me. If it can be done with righteousness, for you are a savior, best of sages, and a helper to all. With calm mind, protect me who have no protector in such a way that the king may accomplish his purpose, and I may attain the heavenly world after a long and healthy life, and the performance of unexcelled austerities. Righteous man, please save me from calamity as a father would a son. Upon hearing these words of his, the great ascetic Vishvamitra soothed him in various ways, then turned to his own sons and said, Fathers, seeking what is good, beget sons for the sake of their own welfare in the next world. The time for the accomplishment of that purpose is now at hand. This boy, the son of a sage, is seeking refuge with me. My sons, you must do him a favor at the cost of your lives. All of you have done your duties well and have made righteousness your highest goal. Now, as sacrificial victims of the Lord of men, you shall glut the sacred fire. In this way, Shunashepa will have a protector. The sacrifice will be unimpeded. The gods will be satisfied, and my word proved true. But best of men, the sage's son, Madhushayanda, and the rest, hearing his words, replied with arrogance and disrespect. How is it, Lord, that you would abandon your own sons to save the son of another? We regard this as a forbidden act, like the eating of a dog's flesh. Now when the bull among sages heard what his sons had said, his eyes grew red with rage, and he began to curse them. The dreadful and hair-raising words you mouth so brazenly, contradicting what I have said, are utterly to be censored from the standpoint of righteousness. You shall all dwell on earth for a full 1,000 years as eaters of dog flesh, caste fellows of Vashishta's sons. Then, after he had cursed his sons, the best of sages addressed the afflicted Shunashepa, providing him with an infallible means of protection. When you are brought to Vishnu's sacrificial post, bound with the sacred cords and adorned with red garlands of ointment, you must invoke Agni, god of fire, with sacred speech. Son of a sage, you must chant these 2 divine stanzas at Ambarisha's sacrifice. Then you shall accomplish your purpose. Shunashepa mastered the 2 stanzas with deep concentration. Thus hastening, he spoke to Ambarisha, lion among kings. Mighty lion among kings, let us go quickly to the place of sacrifice. Return, Lord of kings, and enter a state of consecration. Upon hearing the words of the seer's sons, the king was filled with joyful anticipation and went swiftly but vigilantly to the sacrificial ground. There, with the consent of the officiating priests, the king had his victim marked with the sacred signs and clothed in red. Then he had him bound to the sacrificial post. But once he was bound, the son of the sage praised the two gods, Indra and Indra's younger brother Vishnu, in the prescribed fashion with those excellent stanzas. Thousand-eyed Indra was pleased and gratified by that secret hymn of praise, Raghava, and he granted long life to Shunashepa. And as for the king, Rama, best of men, he attained manifold fruits from that sacrifice through the grace of thousand-eyed Indra. At last, best of men, that great ascetic, righteous Vishvamitra took up austerities for another 1,000 years at Pushkara, so he was saved. Sarga 62, by a mantra. When 1,000 years had passed and the great sage bathed upon completion of his vow, all gods approached him in their desire to grant him the fruit of his austerities. Mighty Brahma spoke very pleasing words to him. Bless you. Through the holy rites which you have engaged, you have become a seer. And having spoken to him in this fashion, the Lord of the gods returned to heaven. But mighty Vishvamitra only plunged himself once more into profound austerity. Now after a long time, best of men, Menaka, the most beautiful of the Apsarasis, came to bathe at Pushkara. The mighty son of Kushika saw Menaka there, unrivaled in beauty, like a streak of lightning in a rain cloud. The moment he saw her, the sage came under the spell of Kandarpa, god of love, and said this, Welcome, Apsaras. Come here and live in my ashram. Bless you. Please be gracious to me. For I am infatuated by Madana, the god of love. Madana. Since he spoke to her in this manner, that exquisite woman made her home there. And in this way, a great obstacle to his austerities arose for Vishvamitra. And so 10 years passed pleasantly, gentle Raghava, while she was living in Vishvamitra's ashram. But when that period had elapsed, the great sage Vishvamitra was ashamed of himself and became prey to grief and anxiety. Soon an angry thought crossed the sage's mind, delight of the Raghus. All of this, the great theft of my ascetic power, is the work of the gods. 10 years have passed like a single day and night, with me a victim of love's infatuation. Truly an obstacle has presented itself to me. Sighing, the eminent sage was made miserable by regret. Still seeing the frightened Apsaras trembling, her hands cupped in a gesture of supplication, Vishvamitra, the son of Kushika, dismissed her with gentle words, Rama, and went to the northern mountains. Determined to succeed, that renowned sage made a supreme resolution, and coming to the banks of the Kaushiki river, he engaged in truly dreadful austerities. After he had been engaged in such dreadful austerity for 1,000 years on the northern mountains, the gods became alarmed. So all the gods and host of seers assembled and took counsel together, saying, Very well, let the son of Kushika receive the title Great Seer. Heeding those words of the gods, Brahma, the grandfather of all the worlds, spoke sweet words to the ascetic Vishvamitra. Hail, great seer, Kaushika, my son. I am pleased by your fierce austerity. I will grant you greatness and preeminence among seers. But when this ascetic Vishvamitra heard grandfather Brahma's speech, he bowed, cupping his hands in reverence, and replied, If, Holy One, because of Ignatian, Brahma and seer, then I would have been shown to have truly conquered, my senses. Brahma, however, merely replied, So far you have not conquered your senses. Exert yourself. Having said this, he returned to heaven. Wow. Therefore, when the gods had departed, the great sage Vishvamitra continued his austerities, standing unsupported, his arms raised, only sustenance the air. In summer, the ascetic kept the 5 fires. During the rains, he lived outdoors. In the winter, he stood in water day and night. In this fashion, the sage Vishvamitra adopted these austerities. Vasava and the gods were greatly alarmed. Shakra and all the Marut hosts spoke to the Apsarases, Rampa, in words to their advantage and to the disadvantage of Kaushika. Rampa, there is an important task you must undertake on behalf of the gods. You must seduce Kaushika by infatuating him with love for you. But Rama, the Apsaras, were dismayed at being addressed in this fashion by thousand-eyed Indra. Wise Lord of the gods, Cupping her hands in reverence, she replied, Lord of the gods, the great sage Vishvamitra is fearsome. He will unquestionably unleash his dreadful wrath on me. O God, I am afraid, be merciful. But though she stood there trembling, her hands cupped in supplication, thousand-eyed Indra merely replied, Have no fear, Ramba. Now please carry out my instructions, for I shall take a Kukila's form to captivate his heart. Then when spring had come and trees are in their loveliest, I will stand beside you together with Kandarpa, god of love, Ramha. You must put yourself, not Rama, but Rampa. You must put on your most beautiful and radiant form and infatuate the ascetic seer Kaushika. When that seductive woman had heard his words, she made herself surpassingly beautiful, and with an enchanting smile she set out to seduce Vishvamitra. He heard the sound of the Kukila singing sweetly, and his heart was delighted when he saw her. But the sight of Ramba and the sound of her incomparable singing aroused suspicion in the sage. He recognized it all as the work of thousand-eyed Indra, and overcome with rage, the son of Kaushika, bull among sages, cursed Ramba. Unfortunate Ramba, since you would seduce me and seek to conquer lust and anger, you shall be turned to stone for 10,000 years. You have been defiled by my wrath, Ramba, but you shall be saved by a mighty Brahmin with great ascetic power. But no sooner had the great sage, mighty Vishvamitra, uttered these words than he regretted it, for he had been unable to control his anger. Nonetheless, through the force of his dreadful curse, Ramba turned then and there to stone. Almost like the story of Medusa, but like a little flipped. Turned to stone. It's not his thing anyway, I don't know. But Indra and Kandarpa, upon hearing the great seer's words, slipped away. Now that the mighty sage had his senses yet unmastered, had wasted his austerity through anger, Rama, he found no peace of mind. That's a good, for a moment, let's stop and talk about that. My guru, Nimkaroli Baba, he said that, I might be paraphrasing because I want to make sure I say it correctly. He said, lust, anger, and greed and attachment are all roads to hell. And hell in the Hindu pantheon, in the Hindu idea, in the Hindu concept, is, at least within Advaita, is not an actual place you go when you die. It's a state of consciousness that you exist in and create out of. So when it says about these places where your desire, your bellies are huge, and your mouths are really small, so you're not able to take in all that you desire, right? What is that? Well, see, lust and greed are pretty much the same thing. They're really just one thing. Ram Dass had said that earlier. And so when you get greedy for something and you go after it, this can be, substances, this can be anything outside of yourself. It doesn't just have to be women or men or, whatever, depending on your sex, gender, or orientation. It doesn't have to be that. It's not lust in the idea of the Hindu idea is any desire, any blanket desire whatsoever. So you could desire so badly to see the sun rise one morning, and because you sleep in, you're angry over it, You're so attached, right? It's really they all are one in some sense. But imagine that you get so greedy, so gluttonous, so hooked on what you want, but every time that you take it, it's not enough. It doesn't fill you. This is what Christ counteracts in the New Testament by saying he can give you living water. That in this world there are all kinds of desires that lead to more suffering because you don't have it. You don't get it. You got the tiny mouths and the big bellies. Your appetite is huge, but the ability is not there. So you're always starving. You're always starving. It's a state of consciousness. It's a state of being. Yeah. So because this mighty sage had unmastered his senses and he wasted his austerity through anger, he found no peace of mind. And I believe he was turned to stone, if that was the one who was turned to stone. No, Ramba was turned to stone. Okay. Or was it Vishvamitra? Okay, no. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it was Vishvamitra. Sarga 64. Yeah. I thought that was really good too. After this Rama, the great sage abandoned the region of the Himalayas and went west to the east, where he performed truly fearsome austerities. He undertook the unsurpassed vow of 1,000-year silence, Rama, performing unparalleled and virtually impossible austerities. And when those 1,000 years had passed, the great sage who had been tested by so many distractions had become just like a piece of wood, and anger could no longer seize him in its grip. His splendor stupefied the gods, Gandharvas, serpents, asuras, and rakshasas. Asuras and rakshasas are demons. His ascetic power dimmed their innate luster. In great dejection, they all spoke to Grandfather Brahma, "O God, we have seduced and angered the great sage Vishvamitra in many ways, yet still he increases in ascetic power. No sin at all, not even a minute one, is to be found in him. If he is not granted what his heart desires, then with his ascetic powers he would destroy the three worlds along with their moving and unmoving contents. Already, all directions are clouded and nothing can be seen. All the oceans are agitated and the mountains are crumbling. The earth trembles and the wind blows wildly. O God, we must propitiate that holy sage who is blazing with great splendor like a fire, lest he set his mind upon destruction. The three worlds are aflame just as they were long ago, with the fire of universal destruction. Grant him whatever he wants, even the kingdom of the gods." Then the host of the gods, with Grandfather Brahma at their head, spoke sweet words to the great Vishvamitra. "Hail, Brahman seer! We are well satisfied with your austerities, Kaushika. Through your fierce austerities you have become a Brahmin. The Marut hosts and I now grant you long life, Brahmin. Bless you, may you attain happiness. You may go now, kind sir, just as you please." The great sage was delighted to hear these words of Grandfather Brahma and all the denizens of heaven. Prostrating himself, he spoke, If I have really gained the status of a Brahmin and long life, let the sacred syllables Om and Vashat and the Vedas be fully revealed to me. And O gods, Vashishta, son of Brahman, foremost among those who know the Vedas of the Kshatriyas and Brahmins, must himself address me by this title. If this my greatest wish is granted, then bull among gods, you may depart. And so the gods propitiated Vashishta, foremost in Vedic recitation, then saying, "So be it." The Brahman seer befriended him. He told him, "You are a Brahman seer. There can be no doubt about it. Everything has turned out well for you." Then, when he had spoken in this fashion, all the gods departed as they had come. But righteous Vishvamitra, having at last attained the unsurpassed status of a Brahmin, paid homage to the Brahman seer Vashishta, foremost in Vedic recitation. When he had thus accomplished his desire, he wandered over the entire earth, unwavering in his austerities. And that, Rama, is how the great man attained the status of a Brahmin. Rama, he is the greatest of sages. He is austerity incarnate. He is always the highest authority and the ultimate resort of power. When Janaka had heard Shatananda's tale, there in the presence of Rama and Lakshman, he cupped his hands in reverence and addressed the son of Kushika. "I am indeed fortunate and grateful, righteous bull among sages. That Brahmin by the very sight of you, great sage. Just meeting you enriches me with manifold blessings. Mighty Brahmin, the great Rama and I have heard about your great austerities recounted here at length. The officiants assembled at our sacrificial session, too, have heard about your many virtues. Your austerity and might are both immeasurable. Truly, son of Kushika, your virtues are immeasurable forever. Never will I tire of hearing the wonderful stories about you, Lord. But, best of sages, the orb of the sun is sinking low, and it is time for the sacrifice to begin. Please come to see me once again tomorrow morning, mighty man. I bid you farewell. I bid you welcome. Best of ascetics. Now please excuse me." When Vaideha, lord of Mithila, surrounded by his preceptors and kinsmen, had spoken in this fashion to the best of sages, he quickly circled them in reverence. Then righteous Vishvamitra, reverenced by the great seers, went to his own quarters with Rama and Lakshman. I feel like even though it's a little early today, because we normally read 10, I feel like it's a good stopping point to stop at 65. And we're going to chant a little bit more. No worries, guys. I'm just really tired. I had very little sleep last night, and my buddy Seraphim felt called to meditate and have a hiatus from tonight. So I don't want to read too much and have him miss out at all. So we're just going to continue to chant and sing some devotional songs. I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is beautiful. I'm so grateful for this platform, for all these eyes and ears that I can share devotion with, bhakti, love. What you really are. You are love. You are love.
Yeah.
When we sit back deep within ourselves, You go further and further and further back in meditation, in yoga, and however you want to see it, mysticism, whatever name you have for it. You're going to find that consciousness is your true nature. And what is consciousness? What is consciousness?
Awareness.
It is loving
What is
awareness. And when you
What is it?
identify with consciousness as your true self, that is Sat Chit Ananda. You see, Ram and Krishna, Shiva, Ganesha, all of these gods, all of these beings, all of these perfected beings and ascended masters, the reason that they're ascended, the reason that they know who they are, the reason that they're called Sat Chit Ananda Vigraha, which means Sat Chit Ananda with form, they are consciousness incarnate. They know it so strongly that they're born into this world in that way. That's what they are. They are a manifestation of Sat Chit Ananda, and that's why we look to them to become like them. Just like Christ, just like Krishna, just like Buddha, just like Ram, just like Ganesh, just like Shiva, just like Parvati, just like Radha, just like Durga Ma. You can go on and on and on. Whatever name suits you best, whatever name suits your heart best.
I have a question.
What's up, Parish? Here, let me pause this real quick so I can hear you.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So what is the highest point, or like consciousness is the highest in a body, in a human body, or what is the
So
most?
consciousness is the para-atman expressed through the jiva, the individual soul. So you can imagine it like light from the sun is also, in a sense, the sun. And light from the sun always leads to where? The sun. And the sun is the collective part of all light, right? And so each of us have that light within us that leads into our own individual sun. And that's our soul, right? Our spirit. And so, soul and our spirit. So the soul is the jiva, the soul is the individual, the spirit is Brahma, right? It's this limitless, formless energy, consciousness that's above all things. Now the mother is plasma, the mother is magnetism, earth, right? So when the two come together, the mother forms your negative pole in your body. That's what it is. It's the feminine, your body. Okay? She's also the earth, but she is the earth. The earth forms your body as a negative. The spirit forms your spirit as a positive. Okay? And the union of the two is the soul. The union of the two is the soul. So they create that. If you see Shakti Shiva, Yab Yam, you see the Shiva Linga, they create you. Kali and Shiva, it's space and time equals form. So space-time equals form, and that's even taught when it comes to Albert Einstein, man. E equals mc squared. Like the universe is built on space-time. Space-time is the fabric through which form can manifest. So you can take that down to the lowest level ever. Let's take it down to the atom. Okay, the atom. In this, you can prove this. You can look this up. Depending on the number of neutrons is dependent on the atomic mass of the atom. So if you have a certain number of protons and you have a certain number of neutrons, the neutrons are like the force that the protons have to go through in order, it's like a resistant force to the protons in order to create the electrons, because the electrons line up with how many neutrons there are. So it works that way. It's in every scale imaginable. So did I answer your question?
Yeah, I mean, so in a Christianity or other beliefs, they call it consciousness, and
they call it Christ.
We call it
Christ wasn't a name. Right, Christ wasn't a last name. That's a mistake that a lot of people think. They think Christ was a last name. Rather, it's a title. It's a title given to those who were, quote, anointed. But what is anointment? There's an oil that drains from your spine. It comes from what's it called, man? Oh my goodness, I've taught this too much. It drains from an area in your brain called the colostrum, and it gets differentiated into two fluids by the pituitary and the pineal glands. And these are the lands of milk and honey. The pineal gland secretes a yellow-like portion of fluid. This is called the honey. And the pituitary secretes a white, milk-like portion from it. They drain down the back of the spine, and they collect at the 5 fused bones at the bottom of your spine, called the sacrum, the sacred sanctorum, right? And then by Kundalini, right, which even Baba said, you raise the Kundalini by devotion to God, you know. It's love. It's raised by love. It's the Holy Spirit. It's the same thing throughout all traditions. You can say that you can do all these different austerities. You can become a brahmacharya. You can do yoga every day. You can, fast. You can do all these other things. They're not required, though. It's just extra steps. You're putting extra things on there. You can do them, and they can benefit your practice even more so. But what are you without love? Because if your religious practices haven't softened your heart, what are you doing? It's like Jaidu Krishnamurti said. If your religious practices haven't softened your heart, then why are you even doing them? It's all about compassion. It's all about that love for everyone, because everyone is God. Everyone is God. And so when you see God in everyone, and you, like Hanuman, serve God, you serve everyone you meet as if they are God in drag.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I'm researching, not I'm researching, but I'm putting my efforts of thinking a consciousness, so consciousness
Consciousness is the witness to thinking. So like your thoughts, you get to watch from this place inside you, from your Hiridayam, right? You get to watch these thoughts be born, Brahma, live, exist, Vishnu, and die, Shiva. You watch them. You aren't your thoughts in that way. In the same way that you're not your thoughts, you're not your actions. You're not your body. What are you then? When you start losing attachment to all those things, well, what are you doing when you're lusting, when you're greedy, when you're angry, right? You're trying to protect your body. You're trying to feed your body. You're trying to get these needs of the body satisfied, right? Well, if you don't identify with the body, you transcend those.
You're trying to more describe in a spiritual way. I want a little bit scientific answer.
There are some good guys who do some work over at Science and Non-Duality on YouTube. You can check that out. It's called Science and Non-Duality. And they do some good work on that.
Duality.
I'm also interested in that as well. In fact, I'm writing a book on this. And I was initiated, there was a guy who I watched hours and hours and hours of his lectures. His name is Santos Bonacci. I don't agree with everything he says, but he is a very wise individual, and nobody can doubt that. He's studied, man. He has studied. And he taught me the science of light. And from this science, I've been writing a book. I've been beginning to write a book describing consciousness as infinite, because I've had experiences with infinite consciousness. Let's see. Whether it was through psychedelics and plant medicine, or it was through different forms of yoga, which I've experienced psychedelic states without ever taking any external substance, just with doing Surya Namaskar, which is a very simple yoga. It's a very simple asana. It's a bunch of asanas that are. It's actually Hanuman wrote that, or he performed it for Surya, and so that's why it's known as Surya Namaskar.
Okay.
Sun salutation, yeah. But I can read a little bit from it if you want to hear it. It's I don't want to spoil too much because it is a book I'm writing, but this is really good. This is really good information. The science of light. Now you can write this down if it helps you. It's called the Prisca Theologia. It's called Prisca, Prisca Theologia, which means the original theology. It's called the perennial philosophy, and it has to do with perennialism. Yes. So perennialism is the cycles of time, right? It's it's entropy, right? It's spring, summer, fall, winter, spring, summer, fall, winter, spring, summer, fall, winter. It's birth and death, birth and death, birth and death, yin and yang, yin and yang, yin and yang. Okay? So it's modernly called syncretism. True syncretism, anyway, is the perfect and complete science that totally and completely unifies all core ancient occulted sciences, amalgamating them into a core, complete, unified science, based in love and service as per the teachings of ancient sacred text. This is that science unifying anatomy, astrology, theology, alchemy, numerology, atomology, etymology, astrology, astronomy, spirituality and religion, mathematics and quantum physics. Occulted means hidden from view, esoteric means hidden or inner teachings. It is called the mother science because it has birthed all of these other sciences. We are going to begin with a few philosophical ideas. Can something come from nothing? Creatio ex nihilo is widely debated in philosophy. Nothing is the first emanation from God, source, in Kabbalah, but also in all ancient or other indigenous or esoteric traditions, including Christianity. I take this to mean that Sampracharya was the utmost, most closest to the Vedic truth as possible. You know, some people might take Chaitanya to be so. I sort of see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as an incarnation of God that's teaching us bhakti in the sense of how Hanuman didn't want to fully merge with Ram. He wanted to stay at that large state in complete love and bliss, because if he merged with Ram, what does he lose? He loses the love, because if you're one, there's no love, there's no lover and the beloved. There's just one, right? There just is love. So he wanted to stay in this place where he can always be with the beloved and love the beloved. So impersonal or personal, basically what we're saying is the definition of magic is that something can come from nothing. That's the definition of magic. I believe this world, this universe, is the creation, is magic. It is magic. That's what it is. God made this world out of nothing. That's magic, right? Impersonal or personal. Is God a personal image? Yes and no. In all traditions, God is ultimately the infinite ground of all reality. The Bible describes God as infinite. And I was going to give a bunch of proofs there, and I'm still working on that. The Quran describes God as infinite. Not like it'll be hard. I know plenty of verses. The Quran describes God as infinite. The Vedas ultimately describe God as infinite. According to the mathematical concept of infinity, right, it inherently contains the finite. So it contains, right, a penny. It contains a cat, right? It contains every object, every finite object whatsoever. Oh, I love Vivekananda. Let's go. According to the very definition of finite, the finite cannot contain the infinite. So what then can be said of experiences of infinite consciousness? Because if you are infinite, you are God. The finite cannot contain the infinite. But if you contain the infinite, you aren't finite. You're infinite. So you're part of God. Part and parcel. It proves it. Science, in fact, cannot prove that the brain creates consciousness. Dr. Eben Alexander, an American neurosurgeon and author of his own notable near-death experience, says that science shows the brain does not create consciousness. Nikola Tesla also considered consciousness to be a non-local phenomenon. Modern science, however, claims it is impossible to prove non-local consciousness due to the difficulty in scientifically verifying supernatural phenomena. Science vehemently denies any possibility of a supernatural realm and or supernatural phenomena. Why? Because science is an attempt to understand how the world functions. Science is not the only attempt of that, of course. So what makes science different? And this was, just to reiterate, this is a drawing I drew that was what I saw when I was on LSD with my friends. There were three of us tripping, and one of us became each head. And we were all thinking the same thoughts, and we were speaking what the other person would think. So I would have my buddy think a thought, and I would hear it in my head, and I would say it. Or I would think a thought, and they would say it. And that's how I knew it was real. That's how I knew it was happening, because I was watching it. You know what I mean? It was so trippy, man. Yeah. So science is unique in that it insists, when trying to understand observed phenomena and their function and existence, we are not to invoke any mental factors. Science forbids the mind or intelligence to enter the description or the attempt at explanation. Theories and or hypotheses are accepted as concept that must be inevitably proven through physical evidence only. This is a fundamental problem for understanding consciousness, because consciousness is not a physical thing. There's not a single scientist can tell you what part of your brain creates consciousness. They can't tell you where it comes from, what organ creates it, how it's created. They have their own ideas, but there's no way to prove it whatsoever. No way at all. Science abstains from all forms of any ideal of intelligent design. In other words, science claims there is absolutely no intelligent agent who has at some point intervened to design and or create any of the perceived, I forgot what that word is because it's in pencil, natural phenomena there is absolutely no source of creation that is intelligent and or producing or preserving it as it is. Cosmic absurdism. No point, no reason, no purpose other than to survive and mate. So science misses a crucial point. If consciousness is not a physical thing, as we have noted before, no scientist or neuroscience can show or prove or even begin to give the first sentence of how consciousness is produced by the brain on account of some organ or something. They have absolutely no clue. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Let's see. If consciousness is not a physical, how on earth can we study it by only observing physical phenomena? Because science rejects the intellect at any attempt of explanation, it wouldn't be, quote, scientific to even give a theory that intelligence doesn't come from an individual me, but could be a gift from a collective consciousness. It would fall into the realm of parapsychology. We couldn't even consider the hypothesis in science. Because science innately bases itself on the concept that all thoughts and beliefs and theories are the mind's and its own, and only approves and allows linear mind thinking, it will never begin to comprehend the mysteries of consciousness. Nikola Tesla, the day science begins to study non-physical phenomena, it will make more progress in 1 decade than in all previous centuries of its existence. If we cannot consider a hypothesis because the original claim we are given, but we also cannot prove that claim, we are committing a major error, and practicing a fallacious from the top-down practice that admittedly is useful, but not in this regard. Although some concepts from the very verge of science studying on the edge of physical or non-physical phenomena, quantum physics, which has fundamentally established the idea that subatomic particles underlying our reality all pop randomly in and out of existence, doing the dance of Shiva, creating our reality. The concept of quantum entanglement and non-local consciousness refers to a theoretical idea that the very real phenomena of quantum entanglement, where separate particles remain interconnected even when separated by extremely long distances. It can be related to the concept of consciousness that extends beyond the physical boundaries of the body, potentially allowing for connections between minds without physical limitations, essentially non-local consciousness. If quantum entanglement exists at a fundamental level of reality, it could imply that all things are interconnected, potentially forming a basis for proving a collective consciousness. In what ways do we currently know, though? And can we show that everything is interconnected? Now, you'll like this a lot. 1 second, I dropped a flower that I had compressed. It's a passion flower that I've compressed. It's a symbol for Christ in this book. I need to put it back. Let's see. There we go. Heaven and earth meet. You are nature. The great philosopher Alan Watts said, the way an ecologist describes human behavior is as an action. What you do is what the entire universe is doing at the place you call here and now. You are something the whole universe is doing, in the same way that a wave is something the whole ocean is doing. Nowhere human nature included, human nature included, is an organism. An organism is a system of orderly anarchy. There is no boss in it, but it gets along by being left alone and being allowed to do its own stuff. We need a new kind of consciousness, because if we don't experience ourselves that way, we mistreat our environment. We treat it as an enemy. We try to beat it into submission. And if we do that, comes disaster, because we are it. We can't live without it. The trees make our oxygen, man. Like, come on. They look just like our lungs. And we're cutting them down by the thousands, man. It's what kind of logic is this? We're harming ourselves. Who does that? Who would do that to your lungs? It's the same thing. So comes disaster. Underneath the superficial self, there's another self, more really us than I. And if you become aware of that unknown self, the more you realize that it is inseparably connected with everything else that there is, that our real body is not just what's inside our skin, but the whole external environment. That's quoted from Alan Watts. Eternal darkness, is the game too dark? Turn up the brightness and settings. Whether consciousness is the creative force behind all reality, or it's created in the brain, either way, according to the current scientific understanding based on the Big Bang Theory, everything in this universe, including us as humans, originated from the same initial energy and matter that began the universe, meaning we come out of the universe. We are something she does, just like an apple tree apples. Can we say something so intelligent and intricate, delicate, gentle, humane, and precise of an instrument like the human mind would come from something unintelligent, random, and indifferent? Never mind that question for now. Panpsychism. If we are aware and conscious of in our own unique way within the universe, we are both a part of and came out of. We are how the universe is aware of itself. From our perspective, at least. Same with a cat, a dog, or a tree in its own way, or plants or a tree in its own way, because we know trees and plants have their own way of decision-making, anticipatory behavior. They exhibit learning and memory and use electrical signals to communicate information. All plants do. They even have their own way of seeing the environments. Seeing and commentating, maybe, I think that's what that says. Suddenly I could see and remember it like I haven't been able to since I was a kid. This novelty, this intelligence everywhere I looked, this cosmic mind. And this was another drawing from one of my trips. A bunch of eyes, all the eyes in the astrology wheel. The science is incomplete, however, because many debate at what has consciousness, what exactly is it, and how do we define it? If we're using the typical definition of awareness to define it, it is controversial whether plants are aware because it being a current topic of debate. Animals can be aware and can even be aware of being aware, tested via what's known as the mirror test. Some researchers, Feinberg and Malat, concluded the only living organisms that can be reliably said to have consciousness are vertebrates, arthropods, cephalopods, and cephalopods at this moment in time. Humans are special in that we have a unique level of complex thought, self-awareness, and the ability to use language. It can be important to note studying animals' consciousness may be difficult because we cannot directly access their subjective experiences, so observation of behavior are often used to infer their conscious states. The idea of consciousness as a spectrum. Currently, scientists and philosophers increasingly theorize that consciousness exists on a spectrum. This would be across different species, with humans at one end and simpler organisms with more basic forms of awareness at the other. Different levels of awareness can be observed through behavioral and brain activity patterns, suggesting a range of conscious states, rather than a simple on-off phenomenon. However, to directly measure and observe this spectrum remains a complex challenge to science due to the objective nature of conscious experience. What can we say in our research when it comes to different states of human consciousness? States such as sleep, dreaming, deep meditation, altered states induced by drugs, or other means, and various levels of alertness all represent different points on the spectrum of consciousness. Spectrums can be infinite, and not just can, they all are, like every spectrum is infinite. According to current scientific understandings, yes, all spectrums are considered to be infinite, meaning there's no theoretical limit to either the high or the low end of a spectrum. Like as in the electromagnetic spectrum, where wavelengths can be infinitely long or short in principle. However, of course, practical limitations exist due to our ability to only measure and detect spectrum ranges or specific ranges within the spectrum. This would be like our number spectrum, infinite. Our number spectrum, like you can go all the way negative, you can go all the way up, right? Now, this would mean that consciousness exists on a lower end of the spectrum in microorganisms, amoebas, molecules, atoms, and yes, even to some degree, subatomic particles, and further and further and further on infinitely, and likewise on the other end of the spectrum. Not only allow, but considers it a necessary truth that beings exist with higher consciousness, also infinitely, with infinite planes of dimensional existence. These would be the elves, the nymphs, the spirits, and the gods of the present and ancient age, eternal from time immemorial, spawned from the eternal Godhead, a concept that may be fathomed in the future through quantum mechanics as a source consciousness or the source of consciousness. When I speak of this Godhead, I don't mean some character, ego, or old man on the throne. I am speaking of you, all of you. God is all of us. we have already firmly established we are the universe looking back at itself from all of our different conscious perspectives. All of us, from our own unique perspective, through our unique infinite spectrum of consciousness, are aware of the universe that we come out of and are innately a part of. We are the same consciousness. Everything is one, everything is one, everything is one. Neem Karoli Baba said, Sabek. Sabek, which means all one, all one. You point one finger in the air. The finite cannot contain the infinite, but you contain the infinite. In that way, you are God, but so is everyone else. All one. Sabek. You don't believe me? It's interesting because we have firmly established this and can, because we have firmly established this is and can only be experienced subjectively, as consciousness is subjective. Science can't measure it at all. We've given plenty of evidence for it. What's more, telepathy, telepathy, remote viewing, out-of-body experiences, telekinesis, experiences of altered states on psychedelics, other chemicals, etc., are more subjective evidence, or are more subjective evidences, but has been has been measured, studied to occur. I don't know why I wrote it that. It's fading because I wrote it in pencil. I prove my claims to you by showing you in your own subjective experience. I can open the door. I am not going to give you some psychedelic drug. Was that what you were thinking? No, more simpler than that. One question really. Describe awareness, also called being or consciousness. Describe being, the experience of being. You are here now, aren't you? What else is there? Describe is that breathing? I don't think that. Describe breathing. Good. Yeah, describe breathing. What is breathing? It's in and out, right? Good. Describe your current posture.
Is this what you think?
Yeah, this is what I wrote.
Is this my book?
Yeah, it's my book.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah. That's really good.
Thank you so much. I've been working on it for a long time. It took a lot of work to it. Describe your mouth. Just real quick. It's almost over. It's almost done. Describe your mouth. Describe breathing. Describe your current posture. Right now, describe the experience of being. The experience of currently being aware of your current experience. Because not just in Buddhist thought, but also in this teaching, logic. I don't know what that word is, and in all non-dual terms, through car. I don't know how to. I need to go back through this and recorrect my handwriting. The two go together, inseparable. Cause and effect, day and night. The experience and the experiencer are one. Describe that. You can't. Anything you put before it, even descriptors such as awareness, cannot fully describe being, as it truly is and is experienced as an infinite subjective experience for all. This is what ancient science teaches. It explores it from the lens of Hermeticism and may on occasion describe the universe according to the Ptolemaic model, but we can see it also transposes perfectly onto our current understanding. And this is where I begin talking about the perennial science of light, which is it's basically described as X, Y, and Z, and X is the mother, the bride, the virgin, the goddess, the consort, magnetism. Y is the father of the universe. He's black, an insulator, a resistor, dielectricity, what modern science calls, in this case, black matter. They birth Z. Z is electricity. This is the fundamental particle trinity. On a graph, it looks like this. Or like this.
Okay.
Yeah. In this equation, X equals magnetism, motion, space, the proton, and the body. Y, dielectricity, is rest, time, the neutron, and the spirit. Z is electricity. FNR, which is a sexed energy, it's basically electricity as in two poles, so you got a positive and a negative, right? Form, the electron, and, or actually I had that wrong. Magnetism is motion, space, the proton, and the soul. Dielectricity, rest, time, the neutron, and the spirit. Z is electricity, form, the electron, and the body. So magnetism plus dielectricity equals electricity. The mother and the father make a baby. Get that. Motion plus rest equals mechanical energy. Yin and yang, out and in, black and white, world of duality, six-sexed energy, vibration, space, the mother plus time, the father creates the child, the universe of form, God's form. The proton plus the neutron equals the electron. Not in addition, of course, but as a product of a process. We already know the number of electrons in neutral atoms is equal to the number of protons. And science can confidently say the number of protons in an atom directly determines the number of electrons it will have. The number of neutrons has no effect other than the atomic mass. That's because they are a dielectric medium. The neutron is a dielectric medium. And their presence in opposition create the electrons from the resistance to the merging of the proton. Spirit plus soul equals a body. What is spirit? Limitless awareness, infinite awareness. What is a soul? An individual, a fractal of infinite consciousness. The impersonal and the personal creates the body. There's plenty more to explore too, and I wrote down just what I have so far on those, and there's like Sita Ram, and then Lakshman, or that can also be Hanuman, Shiva, Parvati, Ganesh. You see Ganesh has a trunk, right? Yeah. The trunk does the sine wave, it does the vibration wave. That's why it's there. It's also a part of your spine, in the base of your spine. Osiris, Isis, Horus, Kronos, Rhea, Zeus, Odin, Frigg, and Baldur, or Odin, Yoro, and Thor. Heaven, earth, and the sun. Wow. So heaven plus earth equals the sun. Wow. And that's what I've gotten so far. There's I've gotten some more stuff done, but it tends to delve into astrology, and that's just something that's a little too hard for people to understand just from what I've written down. I need like a whiteboard behind me to do it. So I'm trying to find a way to translate it as best I can into that book, but I'm really happy you like that, man. I've been working on that for ages.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's late right now. It's 12:15 right now for me. Yeah.
Yeah, it
for
is.
Me.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
and
I understand
like,
if you got to get to bed, buddy. If you want to stick around, we can sing another Chalisa. If not, I completely understand. But I think I'm going to sing a Chalisa and call it a night. So, yeah.
Yes, sure.
Yeah. Peace and love, buddy. I'm so happy you like that. I can't wait until I can publish it, man. For real.
Yeah, I have some input.
Yeah. Let me know. What's up?
I have some input on it, but we can talk tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, just up to you. Whenever you want to let me know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. I love all that stuff. It's like that's like what I do. Actually, yeah. We're gonna do the Gates of Sweet Nectar, Chalisa. I don't know if you've heard the Gates of Sweet Nectar. It was a Tibetan Buddhist mantra that was put on top of the Hanuman Chalisa, Gates of Sweet Nectar, or put in front of, or behind, in the Gates of Sweet Nectar. There we go. Oh.
Carl never really thought much of his credit scores until he got Credit Karma and used his scores to score more, like this less humble abode. That's what I'm talking about, Carl. Intuit Credit Karma. Download the money app where your hard work pays off.
Game day, I'm here to impress. Gotta make sure that my spread is the best. Show some Takis in it, dip some Takis in it, serve some Takis with it, and crunch some Takis in it. The flavor's immense. I'm bringing the Takis to make it intense.
Shri Guru Charan Saroja Raja Nityamano Mukur Sudhari Varano Raghubara Rajasu Jodaya Padachari Buddhihina Tanujanike Sunerom Pavan Kumaram
Balaburi Vidya Dehu Mohi Arahu Kalesha Vikari Jaya Hanuman Jnana Gunasana Jaya Kapishati Loka Ramaduta Tulita Baladama Anjani Putra Pavana Sutana Mahavira Vikram Bajrang Kumati Nivara Sumati Kesangi Kanchana Varana Viraja Subesa Galana Kundala Kunchita Kesa Atha Vajra Vacharika Kande Muja Jade Gusaj Shankara Suante Sarinanda Teja Pratapa Mahatagavan Ilyavan Guniati Chanta Ramakanja Karibe Koatu Rakucharita Sunive Korasiya Ramalakana Sita Manavasiya Sushma Rupa Darisiya Hindekava Vigata Rupa Darilankajarava Bhima Rupa Dari Asura Samhari Ramachandra Ke Kadasama Ayasa Jivan Lakana Jiyai Shri Raghuveera Hara Shivralai Raghupati Ki Bhavata Bharai Tuma Mama Priya Bharatai Samabhai Asavadana Tumaro Jasagam Asakari Shri Patikam Dalagam Sanakadika Brahma Dimurisa Narada Sharada Sarita Jamadubera Digapala Jante Kavi Govinda Kaisa Ke Gahante Tuma Upakara Sugrivaringiha Rama Milaya Rachapati Tuma Mantra Vibhishanamana Angeshwaraya Sabhajagatam Yuga Sastra Jotana Paramanu Niryota Imagura Palayam Prabhu Mudrika Mire Mukhamani Jalilaki Gaya Chajanahi Durga Makaja Jagat Ki Jete Sugamanugra Tumare Deva Rama Duare Tumara Tovare Gotanagya Binu Besai Sab Sukha Lahe Tumhari Sharana Tumara Chakaru Kodam Apna Teja Samaro Dino Loka Hanga Tenkambe Buddha Pisacha Nikatana Irave Mahavir Javanama Sunam
What word is this child?
Aseroga Hare Sapavir Japata Nirantara Hanumatavir Sankatate Hanumana Churave Manakrama Bachana Jana Jogave Avaparama Tapasvi Raja Dinake Kaja Sakala Tumasaja Oromano Jogorilave Soli Amita Jirana Palapa Jalo Nuga Parata Patumala E Parasita Jagata Vichya Sadhu Santa Ke Tumara Tovare
Ashtusidhinonidhikenata Asavaradina Janaki Mata Ramarasaya Tumare Pasa Sadaraho Adipati Vedasa Tumare Bhajana Rama Kopa Janama Janama Ke Duka Visara Antakala Raghuvara Purajai Jahana Jana Hare Bhattaka Ora Devata Chittanadhari Hanumata Se Sarva Sukhakai Sangata Kate Mite Savabhira Josumire Hanumata Balavira Jai 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 Hanuman Gosai Kripakaraho Gurudeva Kina Jo Sattavara Bhattacharako Chutahiman Mahasukho Joya Hanuman Chalisa Oya Siddhi Saki Gaurisa Tulasidas Sada Harichera Ki Jena Hridaya
I wanted to pause it here just for a second because I realized Ram and Sita had two twins, and the twins are the positive and the negative. And then Kesari and Shiva had Hanuman, who's electricity, right? And then Shiva and Parvati had Ganesh, who's electricity.
Avanatanaya Sankatarana Mangalamurati Gurva Ramalakana Sita Sahita Hridayam Vasadu Surabhuva Mangalamurti Martananda Sakala Mangala Mula Nikandan Mangalamurti Martananda Sakala Mangala Mula Nikandan. Calling out to hungry hearts everywhere through endless time. You who wander, you who thirst, I offer you this heart of mine. Calling out to hungry spirits everywhere through endless time. Calling out to hungry hearts, all of the lost and the left behind. Gather round and share this meal. Your joy and your sorrow, I make it mine. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Sitaram 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 Sitaram. Sitaram, 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 Sitaram. Shri Ram Jaya 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 Ram. Shri Ram Jaya 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 Ram.
It's Hanuman Chalisa. And that's the gates of sweet nectar at the end there. It's an invocation to feed these hungry hearts and hungry spirits with the name of Rama. We feed them with the name of God. And something more important I thought to touch on Hanuman is the servant of God. He's the servant of Ram. He's so close to Ram that he's known as the breath of Ram. You know.
Yeah.
And if Ram is the Sat Chit Ananda Vigraha, right? He's the form of Sat Chit Ananda, truth, consciousness, and bliss. But you are the truth, consciousness, and bliss. You are Rama. We all are Rama. He serves you.
Yeah.
That's why he's so in love with you. That's why he wants you. He wants you so bad. He wants to take care of you. He wants to provide for you all your beneficial desires. Sankatamo chana kripa nidhan. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That's nice thought.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining in, guys. I'm so grateful for this platform. I'm so grateful to be able to share these devotional songs with you, these devotional stories, the devotional worship, the devotional everything, man. The love. I'm here to share the love. And the love isn't me, guys. It's not me at all. It's God.
Yeah.
I'm no guru. The only guru in me is the same guru in you. There is no difference, no separation. See, all the same. Sabek, you are exactly what I am. Yeah. In the same way that not in the sense of consciousness. You're exactly what I am in the sense of consciousness. You have every ability to do everything I'm doing. You can serve God too. You can see everyone in your life as God and drag and serve them the best of your ability. Now, we're not always perfect. We're not always perfect. Christ said to love one another as yourself and to serve the Lord God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, which is like it. He said it's like it. To serve God is to serve your neighbor. That's what he said. That's why Maharaji said Hanuman and Christ are one and the same, because Hanuman's there to serve you. He's there to serve God. Absolutely.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Man, and I'm being honest, I got in this game for mental health. And if I would have known I'd be here where I'm at now years ago, I wouldn't have been near as depressed. I had no idea, you know? And I think sometimes Maharaji pulls things into our Leela, things from his Leela into our life. You know, our life becomes his Leela in order to teach us things, in order to bring us back to him. He said something to me here recently. He's like, I had a couple hard days this last week, and he said, I've allowed this to happen because you stopped visiting Kenshi. He's like, you haven't been coming to see me. So, I'm just reminding you that I'm your comfort, that I'm your refuge. When you're suffering and you don't know where to go, run to God. Run to God. Run to God.
Yeah. Right.
Ashe. I love you guys. I feel this night has been very auspicious. There's been some beauty here, intense beauty. Just show the murti real quick that I was decorating all day. And I don't know, are you supposed to clean this after you do puja? Because that was the first time I've ever poured milk or sugar and stuff on Hanuman, and I don't know if I should leave it like that. I'm worried it'll attract, like bugs or something.
Yeah, you can. When you do it tomorrow, you can clean it, and there is two way you can do it. You can discard them two way. Either you can pour it in a running water,
Okay.
or if not, you don't have the water near, like running like a river kind of thing, then you can dig like some in a earth, like a dig little bit, and then you just put that in the earth, and then just cover it with the
like a cloth.
Yeah, not with the cloth, but the sand, whatever we took it out, with the mud or whatever.
Could you type it? Because I think I'm hearing you wrong.
Say we dug the earth, right? So we take out the debris. We take out the debris, right?
Yeah.
So we put all this the puja stuffs that we want to discard. We put it in the we dug. I'm sorry, I have no words how to explain it.
Oh, you're fine, buddy.
We put it in the earth, and then we just cover it with a sand, or with a mud or whatever.
Okay. I'll look that up so I make sure I do it right. But I get what you're saying for sure. So let's see. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I love each and every one of you.
I love you too. Thank you.
Remember that we're not perfect. We are perfectly imperfect. Yeah.
Yes.
And so every time you find yourself fall down, just let it be part of your sadhana, man. It's just a learning experience. Get back up, dust yourself off, and keep going. Love one another. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. We'll be going live probably around 8 o'clock again, and I'm super excited. Hopefully Seraphim will join us this time, and we'll have more people on here. But I mean, dude, I've got 4K likes. I mean, we're doing great. You know what I mean? Peace and love, guys. You guys have a great night. I love each and every one of you. God bless you with abundance in your spiritual walk, in your walk of love, in your relationships, in your family, in every way imaginable, for the highest good always. Yeah, we've dedicated this live to offering it for the highest good of all, and we do that always. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you, Parish. See you, my friend.
Let's see.
Bye bye.